Hey, what's up, everyone? Back for this Saturday slate. We have a 6-game slate for today, so let's get right into it. You can drop a like down below, subscribe if you have not already. Yesterday, I fell a little bit short on Draftkings as didn't have Anthony Davis, who went off in the late game. Had Whiteside, wasn't as good, obviously, but is what it is. Going on to today, looking to make sure today is a good day. So let's get into it. Starting off here at point guard, there's a lot of options on this 4-game slate to pay up for. Harden, Young, Doncic, Westbrook, Simmons, and those are just the top tier. Then you got Butler, Booker, Dinwiddie, Mitchell, LeVert in the second tier. This position is pretty stacked on the slate. You could say that depending on the status of the Mavs, it'll be interesting. I know Porzingis has rested some back-to-backs, but coming off of the All-Star break, I don't know if he will rest again. But if he is indeed resting, then Luka would become the best play on the slate at 10-2. I think there's some more value at this position as well. You got Mike Conley down at 5,200, who got 2 days off, or he rested the day, I think, heading into the All-Star break, and then yesterday he rested on a back-to-back, so you should see pretty good minutes today at 5,200. That looks good. And then you got the Bulls really banged up at home against the Suns. They're also a team that I want to target here, and Satoransky's only 4,900. I think that's a pretty good spot to start, just because he's cheap. The minutes are going to be there. You should see well over 30 minutes today. Still as banged up as they were last game, except now that Cornette is also doubtful, so take him out. They're probably looking at like 8 guys that are going to get at least decent amount of minutes, and then maybe like a ninth guy that gets a couple of minutes. But really, Satoransky should get good minutes. He's at 4,900, under 5K. Is want to have some interest in him, and I think it's a pretty good spot against Phoenix. And speaking of the Bulls, I also like Zach LaVine quite a bit at 8,900. He shot just 8 of 22, played basically 40 minutes, 39 minutes. You can give him a lot of minutes tonight again, and it should be a good spot for him at home against the Suns. I think he's going to explode very soon, and with all the other studs on the slate, I think he could get a little bit overlooked. So I'm looking at Zach LaVine pretty heavily at 8,900. I think it's a great spot. We know that he's going to get a lot of minutes. You know that he takes a lot of shots, just has struggled shooting, but he still was a solid play if you played him. 45 points, even though he shot under 33% and just made 1 of 7 threes. So he's doing a little bit more of everything right now. I think at 8,900, he's still a guy that I want to get in there. Over at small forward, I'm looking at like LeVert again at 7K. I think is fine. I like Middleton. He's a little expensive. I kind of want to try to get up to Giannis. I would say there's not a ton that sticks out right here. Like Bridges is okay at 62, nothing that really makes me excited. I would say I think you can take a shot on like Cam Reddish here, 4,100, looks good. Play 37 minutes. Should play well over 30 minutes tonight as DeAndre Hunter is out. So Hunter played 30 minutes. So Cam Reddish should see good minutes. Should definitely start. He's only 4,100. So that looks like a pretty good value play right now, the way he's been playing. It's a good matchup at home. At least they're at home. So, these younger guys tend to play better at home. And he's been shooting the ball a lot better, which is great to see, because early on in the season it was dreadful watching him shoot. At power forward, you got this marquee matchup, Philadelphia and Milwaukee. I love Giannis. Should see 34, 35 minutes. In these close games and these big games, they do like to give him more minutes, and we know that he can definitely handle it. Coming off of a win last time they faced the Sixers, he played very well. I think he's going to continue right where he left off. I know Embiid was defending him, and he's a good defender, but I think at home, Giannis, the Bucks are rolling. He's going to be a huge part in this game. At center, I think you could even play Embiid to run it back. I kind of like his price tag, 9,400. Simmons is back, so that should give him a little bit less usage. Should give him a little bit less. Also, the game went into overtime against Brooklyn, but I think he's still a fine play at 9,400. It's just who you want to pay up for. I kind of do want to pay up for Giannis over Embiid, I would think. And then the value play at center right now is 3K for Gafford, who should start. And then there's more value, like Jared Allen's only 4,300. That looks good. And then you got Cody Zeller at 4,700. That looks pretty good as well. But Gafford paying up for Giannis, paying for Zach LaVine, going to need some value. So he supplies that. Worst case scenario, he sees like 22 minutes, splits time with Felicio. Best case, he sees like 24 to 28. I don't think he's going to get 30 minutes. He's not really that kind of player, but he should probably get in the 20s at least, and he can be a nice value play. Doesn't need to do much at 3,000. And then last but not least, at guard, I kind of like Conley here just because he's cheap. It's 5,200. It's a great matchup against Houston. He's played pretty well against Houston the last time they faced. Struggled the other time, but I think he was playing well heading into the break with 4 straight 30-plus point games. Ever since he moved into the starting lineup, he was playing better, and he's taken a lot of shots since he's done that. Coming off of a couple of rest games, he should be good to go and feel fully refreshed. He's at a good price point. I think there's a pretty good chance he gets you at least 6x easily and has the upside to get you 7 to 8x as well. Over on FanDuel, it's a little bit different here. Both of the top 3 are point guards. Westbrook is more expensive than Young or Doncic. I kind of would go Young, Doncic, then Westbrook, I think, just because, unless Porzingis sits, then I would play Doncic over Young, just because Doncic is on a back-to-back and Young is at home. And I would say Conley is okay. I don't think 58 is a great price tag. I like him on DraftKings a lot more. Satoransky's fine at 5,400. And then you got Kobe White looks good. And you got Shaq Harrison. I think he will probably start. He played better than, way better than Arcidiacono. And I think he'll start. If that's the case, he looks good at that price. Right now, it's tough for me to decide. I think Satoransky, just because the minutes will be there, it looks fine. But then again, it's tough to trust him. So I think I'll probably try to pay up for one of these guys here, like a Trae Young at 10-2. He's facing Dallas. It's a great spot, just in terms of facing off against Luka Doncic. He was playing great basketball, coming off of a career-high 50-point game. Just has a ton of usage, ton of everything, and just does it all for the team, except for rebound that much. But I think he's just in a good spot against Dallas at home. A shooting guard, I like Zach LaVine. 94 is a little bit expensive, but I think he's still playable on FanDuel. But you got some more value like Karis LeVert's only 6,200. That's once again going to be a spot where I try to prioritize or try to make sure I get him. Hopefully, just because he's so cheap. 62 is way too cheap for a guy like LeVert, the way he's been playing. Small forward Giannis looks great, 11-3. You got Kelly Oubre, is only 6,000. That looks good as well. And he just based on the matchup and his price point. And then you have Cam Reddish, has 4,400. Looks fine at that price. That's kind of it at this position. I think just Kelly Oubre looks good at just 6,000. He's playing good minutes for the team. Only played 31, but usually he's playing he can play 35, 36 in close games. He also struggled a little bit against Toronto, but it's a much better spot against Chicago, I think, at this price point. We know he has the upside in the 40s, and he's pretty appealing based on that salary. At power forward, it's I think you could try to get up to Adebayo if you want against Cleveland. There's plenty of value, like Kevin Love, if he plays, is only 6,800. I don't know why he only played 9 minutes. That's pretty, only played 22 minutes. That's pretty wild. Maybe they wanted to save him for the back-to-back, but if he's starting, I would say that he plays good minutes, and 68 is a really tough price not to consider him. I'm looking at Thaddeus Young here at 57 just because he should play huge minutes without Kornet, should play well into the 35, 36 range. He's not the best player point per dollar-wise, but as we've seen, he can have a good game, and it is a great spot against Phoenix. And then at center here, Embiid looks good at 10-1. There's not a lot of options. You got DeAndre Ayton at 9,000, looks fine. And then you could go with a Cody Zeller. There's really a couple options to consider. Nothing that is jumping off the page, but I would say Embiid, just based on the matchup. I think he's gonna play hard in this game, gonna be motivated, and I think he should see a pretty good game out of Embiid, even though Simmons is back. So that's what I'm looking at as a first look. I will update on Twitter as things change, as I do more research, but this is a first look for the slate. Thanks for watching, and good luck today.